Hello, my Scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. Happy Christmas in July! Yay! I have not actually scrapped any Christmas photos this July, but I just thought when I saw the date that this video was due to go up, it would be a missed opportunity if I did not do a Christmas layout. And I also just happened to have one layout left in my 2021 album, so it was like fate. I just couldn't resist. So I'm using the fabulous Gnome 2 cut file from COAPA Cutfiles, which of course is linked in the description box down below. And I am working with the Merry and Bright collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studios. They do have a newer Christmas collection than this one. This one is their older one. It's not their oldest one, but their older one. I believe there are 3. This is the one in the middle, if you're playing along at home. So these photos I adore because they are of my boys meeting Santa in 2021, and it is the first time that they were not absolutely 100% petrified of him. It kind of helped with the COVID restrictions that they didn't have to sit on his knees. They didn't have to be super close to him. You can even see the way like Tom's on his full tiptoes stretching to do the high five, and that's just about as close as you could get, which I think suited both of my boys just fine. And so it was super cute. They were so happy, and they spoke to him and they told him what they wanted for Christmas, and it was just adorable. So I'm hoping this year is just as successful. What else can I tell you? So as I said earlier, I'm working with this collection, and I actually cut a chunk of this paper out in the corner to use to back my cut file, and then regretted it because I wanted to use it as my 12 by 12 page, but realized I could actually just place my cut file on top of that little rectangle that I cut out, and no one even has to know. So that is why my my cut file is sitting like right down in that corner, but it's kind of a perfect placement for the cut file anyway, so it all just works out. At the moment, you can see that I have cut the 2 frames in half, and I am layering those up just to sort of frame the photographs and anchor those photographs. I just thought they'd be a little fun. That postcard piece of ephemera that is underneath the high five photo and these 2 frames, they are actually from the very first Cocoa Vanilla Studios collection, and I just thought I'd use some of them up. I think I've got about 5 or 6 pieces of ephemera in total left from that collection, and that's it. So I'm just doing my best to sort of mix it in where possible, and mostly it matches. It's a little bit more of a vintage feel, but mostly the colors match and all of that. So I'm just trying to slowly sneak it in the hopes that I can kill that last little pack of stash. Now, I am having a little bit of trouble with these frames because I probably shouldn't have cut them in a straight line down. I probably should have cut them in an angle when I cut them in half, but I keep fiddling with it and I manage it. Next, though, I am going to work on my clusters. So you can see that I've got this little floral cluster happening down in the bottom corner. They have been fussy cut from a 12 by 12 pattern piece. And I just decided this layout needed a little bit of a floral pop. And some of them I'm sticking flat down on the page, and others I am popping up on foam. That little number 25, it also came from the older collection, as did, in a second, you're going to see a candy cane that also came from that older collection as well. Now, I feel like now is a good time for me to tell you about the description box. Don't forget, as always, down in that description box, there is a link to the Etsy shop, the COAPA Cutfiles Etsy shop, where you will, of course, find all of the amazing cut files that Virginia has created. There is seriously, without kidding, a cut file for everything. So you definitely want to pop in there and check those out. There is also a link to this direct cut file, which is gorgeous. And if you kind of like the feel of the gnomies, there is actually 3 gnome Christmas cut files. The other one has a separate Christmas tree as well, so a gnome and a Christmas tree, and then the other one is actually 3 little gnomes all in like a series. So definitely go in and check those out if this gnomey vibe is a bit of a thing for you as well as it was for me. Then, of course, there is also a link in that description box down to the Facebook group, and I highly recommend you check out that Facebook group. There are some really amazing people in there that share spectacular layouts, and there are also some, like, it's the sneak place to be for any of the free cut files, for any challenges that Virginia puts up for the month, and all those sorts of things. So you definitely want to be part of that group so you don't miss a thing. Now, at the moment, I am working on my very last cluster over on this far side. Excuse me. If I had have been organised, I wouldn't have cut the paper the way I did, because I ended up having to cover the entire floral that actually came on this sheet, came at the bottom of the wreath. I covered it with my cut file and I covered it with my photographs. Now, ideally, I wouldn't have had to do that, but because of that big chunk of paper I cut out, I didn't have a choice. I'm now just building my own floral pieces on there, which is just a little bit silly, but that's okay. So the last thing I'm going to do is pop on all the little bits and bobs that is just a bit too small to use double-sided tape. So I'm popping that on with some glue. And then I pulled out a thickers from my stash, which I think are Simple Stories. But they were just the perfect colour match, and they had these cute little extra bits and bobs as well. So I'm using that title, which is Jingle All the Way, and then they've got a few cute little clustery pieces that I'm just going to add in as well, because I just thought they were really cute. And I love the dimension they add with that little pop of something else coming out of the page. And then, of course, you know me, I cannot finish a layout without some splatters. So pop on the splatters and we are doneskis. So here are the close-up photos. I hope you have enjoyed watching this one and I've got you into the Christmas in July spirit. It's a little bit of a busy layout, but I do really like the way it came together and I'm really happy with the finished product. So thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to share with you some more layouts I make in August. Bye everyone.